Welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in. You're live with Expresso. My name is Graham Richards, and it is a sports weekend par excellence. Massive final, starting with the Super Rugby final, lest we forget, where the Crusaders face the Jaguares. On paper, the Satyrs should walk away with this one, but the Argentinian outfit have just been superb this year, and they could cause the upset of the year. It'll feel like a final win by Bafana take on Egypt in their AFCON round of 16 clash. We've seen it before on the continent. We can do it. Can they get past the mighty hosts with Mo Salah in the mix? We just don't know. And then finally, of course, we preview the FIFA Women's World Cup final. What an exhibition of football that tournament has given us. I'm sure someone who is relishing, basking in the glory of the sport at the moment. Sports anchor and good mate Jeremy Harris is with us today. You always make me feel so good in this, let's be honest, rather negative sporting landscape that we've had to traverse. And we will get onto the cricket a little bit later. I didn't mean to say negative and cricket in the same sentence, but exciting times. Would have been better to have a South African team in
somewhere.
And as I said, it was like, Graham, just let it go, man, let it go. But what an opportunity to get excited about a final. Why? Because it's not an all New Zealand final. And we have got probably, possibly, I don't know which it will be. That's how I feel about this match. The only team that could disrupt the Crusaders.
Got to agree.
How do you see this one playing out? Is it going to be one or the other?
I agree. I mean, I think firstly, look, let's pay homage to the Crusaders. 2 in a row, and they're coming into hopefully 3 in a row. So that'll be their plan. But and when you talk about home stadiums, home venues being a fortress, they were describing.
Have they been beaten there? When last were they beaten?
Well, in a final goes back to what, 2015. I mean, it's a while back. But I mean, the last 2 has been all them as they've beaten the South African Lions in the last 2 finals. But I mean, I think if there's going to be one team that's going to do the damage, it's going to be the Jaguares. And I think that they will go there not impressed by anybody, knowing exactly what their game plan is, and they will go hard at the New Zealanders.
They've a perfect World Cup trajectory. That's where Argentina has been. They've used every one of the tools that Super Rugby has presented them to build a core of leadership, some fantastic players that are playing well, but also have that leadership core. But they know how to slow down the breakdown like an Australian team. They know how to break the line with big forwards that can also pass the ball like a backline player now, very much like a New Zealand outfit. What has it been about that team that has clicked this year that has allowed them to perform? When you consider where they were 3-4 years ago, the Whipping Boys.
Yeah, no, but I think you're exactly right. What's happened is that over those 3-4 years that we've seen is that they've spent a lot of time together. They've grown to know each other's games very well, and you know, eventually you click as a team, as a unit.
I believe.
And the nice thing is that there's been consistency amongst the personnel. So the guys have been going, sure, we've lost, but we know just tweak that little thing and this little thing, and so eventually you're going to click. You're going to be able to hold your own in the top flight. And we're seeing that not only, in Super Rugby, but we're seeing it in international rugby as well.
So moving swiftly on, Bafana up against Mo Salah. No, I mean, we joke about that because Mo is just awe-inspiring. But bearing in mind, most of his achievements in the modern era, in this time that we have loved him, have been achieved at the front of an unbelievable Liverpool team. Is this the Egypt side? When we talk about like an Al Ahly being beaten 5-0 by Sundowns, which did happen. It did actually happen.
Just the other day,
with a lot of the same personnel on that field. I mean, I honestly believe, I feel positive about where Bafana are going, that if they can get the right balance of the best parts of what we've seen in the 3 matches thus far, they can do something special. We held one of the best teams in the tournament up until the 90th minute.
Yeah.
How's this going to play out?
Graham, I mean, it's interesting. It's almost ironic that these 2 teams, Bafana and Egypt, are probably the most criticized teams in terms of their sort of defensive mindset. That, everybody's saying, well, the Egyptians are too defensive, even though they've won, but they've been very defensive-minded. South Africa as well. But I mean, to your point, Al Ahly going down 5-0 to Sundowns is a little bit of a mini sort of indicator of what South Africa can do. They're there, they're able to score goals, they just haven't. And so they're going to have to decide, are we going to go there and sit, in our own goal area, or are we going to, put the ball over and put it into the net?
And I just felt with Percy on the right there, they were creating chances, they were creating spaces.
And they were holding their own. They definitely were.
No, completely. Very. I mean, I've got to pay homage to the quality of women's football at the moment has been awe-inspiring to watch in the FIFA Women's World Cup. The final, of course, the United States, who are just insanely good, up against the Netherlands, who are just insanely good. You would have to give it to United States on paper?
I would give it to them on paper. I'm probably going to have to give it to them on the field as well, because I think that they've just got so much firepower.
What they did to England within the first 30 seconds, you could just feel the sweat beating on your own forehead.
But the pressure that they were under at parts of the game, they just weathered the storm, were able to come back with the win. So I'm going to say that it's probably going to be the USA to pick up the trophy on on Sunday evening, but certainly the Netherlands will go in there not prepared to make up the numbers. They will go in there knowing what they've done to get to the final. And I mean, it's one game of football.
Finals are final, yo.
Yeah,
Finals are final. So we are relishing having all of this beautiful sport to delve into, and we'd love to hear from you as we broach the ICC Cricket World Cup. Of course, getting crunch time there. Not so much for South Africa, who take on Australia. Can we dent their pride just a little bit, or will we be that final piece in the puzzle at season peak at just the right time? We'll delve into that after the break.